Hey people, welcome to the channel, and yet again talking about Star Citizen, in this case the Avenger Titan, one of the best ships you have in game right now. If you're wondering if you should buy this ship or not, you're in the right video. I've had this for a long time. This has been my pledge ship. This was my starter ship, and I've been using it, for literally years. So I have a few things to share about this ship that you probably can benefit if you're thinking of buying your starter ship or you're thinking of buying it in game. As I always say, my advice is, first of all, use the referral code. You have mine there below. It's going to be giving you a little bit more money to get started, and depending on when you use it, you may even get a ship or something more. So always use the referral that you have. Second, don't spend money in a game that is barely a game at all. It's more of a tech demo. There's not a whole lot of new added content, but there is something for you to enjoy there, and I believe that's worth maybe your 45, 50, 60 bucks. Exactly how much money? Well, you'll be the judge of that. My advice is keep it as low as possible, especially because a ship like this one, once you learn how to play, you can buy it within a few hours, maybe a day, a weekend tops, if you know what you're doing, if you follow some of the advice in some of my other videos in terms of grinding and making money in game. Yes, this ship, the Avenger Titan, is available in game. Now, if you tell me that, oh, you know what, I want to spend maybe a couple more bucks when buying the game package, and I don't want to get an Aurora MR or a little Pisces or whatever the hell is being promoted right now, or in whatever ship package, I want to go with a little bit more. Well, I had this as my starter ship and I enjoyed it. At first, as always, you don't know how to play and you think that any ship you have sucks, because it's not the ship that sucks, it's you that don't know how to play the game. As time goes by, as you learn, you start to appreciate everything that this awesome little ship has to offer. First of all, it's really not all that small. It has actually a pretty high hull HP. I think it's about 9-10k in terms of hull HP. So it is pretty strong for what it is. You have 3 hard points for your weapons. You have one size 4, which here it's gimbaled to size 3, and then you have 2 size 3, which are usually gimbaled to size 2. This stock loadout in your Titan is perfectly fine. You will start with 2 repeaters, 1 ballistic Gatling. Leave it as it is. Trust me. Learn to fly with this. This current setup, in case you're wondering, these are all laser cannons. These are more for shooting down larger ships, but it's going to be more difficult and requiring more skill if you're going against light fighters. Even more so when you're going PvP. Forget about it. For PvP, you don't want these guns. This is a setup for PvE, meaning you're fighting against the NPCs of the game, okay? So this is specifically for grinding a little bit of a heavier kind of combat, which I'm just trying out. But usually the stock loadout, those 2 laser repeaters and ballistic Gatling on the nose, all gimbals, which tapping on G makes it easier for you to aim, automatically aims within a certain circle. It is the ideal setup, especially when you start playing. So what are the advantages of the Avenger Titan? Well, it's actually several advantages. First of all, you have a decently sized ship. It is big in terms of you have a pretty large hangar there. It's a little bit of a little pickup truck. You have your ship, you have your door here in the back, so you can access it from this point, or you can access it from this other point. This seems like not a big deal. Trust me, it is. Being able to access your ship from from 2 spots, that makes it easier when your ship has been tossed around because of the wind, because of combat, because you just landed poorly and you can't access one point. It also means it's a lot faster to get inside your ship. Criticisms, well, when you look at the display, it's a little bit dated, a little bit old, and yeah, you have your basic setup there, and this you usually want to set up to maybe your power setup, but it's okay. It's nothing to brag about. You have good visibility, which is nice, but it does need a new pass. The nice thing is you get up and you have the rest of your ship, which in many of these light fighters you don't have. Now, this is not a light fighter. It's somewhat of a light intermediate fighter courier ship, so you have 8 SU of cargo capacity, which is decent for little drug runs and so on. But the nice thing about the Titan is you have a lot of this. You have a lot of room for inventory. 8K. This is so much more. This is 10 times more than you have in the cutter. The cutter, the nicer, newer Drake starter ship, well, this is a lot better because you have the same amount of room for boxes in terms of cargo if you're doing a little bit of drug runs. But if you're doing bunker runs, well, this is a lot better because you can load this thing up with 8K worth of inventory, weapons, armor, whatever the hell you're throwing in here. Now, you also have a nice little bed so you can log out in your ship. You don't have a gun rack, which I think they should do a pass. This is an iconic ship, but you definitely should have a pass here because a gun rack is really neat, especially now that you have insurance and you can persist your weapons. That's something, and you have this thing glitching there, but you have a bed, right? Toilet, you don't need it. So what would be the use of that? Nothing. Now, in terms of how well it flies very, very well. You're talking about a ship that has very decent flight capacity in space and in atmosphere. It is a Gladius or an Arrow? No, of course not. It's not a light fighter. It's not going to be flying like one, but it is nice, maneuverable enough. You can do low combat beacons. You can do moderate beacons, and if you stretch it, you have the patience for it, you can do some of the high combat beacons. It's going to be taking some time. It's not for the faint of heart, and even if you have the skill for it, it just takes a little bit too long, and you probably want to invest on a larger, bigger ship for those. But as it is a fantastic ship for general gameplay. You can do a little bit of everything. You can even throw there in the back a little vehicle, the golf cart from Grey Cat, the PTV, the smallest vehicle. It fits right in there, no problem. Not only does it fit, it is cheap. With those 5,000 ACU that you get if you use a referral, you can buy yourself that Grey Cat for 5K. I think it's 5K and a 5,100 or a little bit over 5K. But that's with your starter money, you can go and buy it right away, or do one of the cheaper missions. You have enough money for a little car that fits right in there. Grey Cat PTV, you can buy it in Astra Armada in Area 18, by the way, in case you're wondering. But it flies nicely. It has a strong hull, so it takes a little bit of a beating. You don't have wings that lose their weapons when shot down, which is something that happens to many vehicles. So even if you're shot to pieces, you still retain your weapons, most likely. You won't lose your weapons if you lose your wings, which is awesome. That's something that many vehicles have as a weak spot. You have 2 size 1 shields. You have a very decent quantum drive. Probably you want to upgrade it eventually to an Atlas, which is the best one you have. But for these things, for example, for doing a little mission run for bunker missions, great. For a little bit of combat, fantastic. For running, doing these, there you see critical threat. But yeah, the critical ones, you probably will not do it with this. Most likely, most vehicles, most ships are not good enough for criticals. But for those paying moderate ones, let me see if I have one, because some of you guys were telling me you never see them. Well, be patient. Look around. There you go, moderate beacon. This perfectly. You know what? Let's actually go and do one of those. It actually popped up right there. Let's actually go and do one of these missions so as to appreciate how easy this is. Let me just turn everything off so as to not leave atmosphere. Let's improvise this a little bit. Let's go do a nice combat beacon just to show you how quickly and how easy this is. As you just saw, I just tapped there on a moderate. I tapped quickly on the sick one. 30K. Guys, were you saying that you never see these? I was doing a video about something completely different, and now there it is. I'm doing one of these moderate missions that you say you never see. Well, be patient. Early in the morning, there's less people usually, so more likely to find these. But there we go. We're going to be making quickly 30K, maybe a little bit more with that over there. And remember, as I said in the start of the video, very much this is an improvised thing, right? I said that these laser cannons are not ideal for some of these light fighters, and they're not. But I'll do it anyway, okay? Just to show you how it can be done. If I had some of my laser repeaters gimbaled, it would be even easier to do that. But no, I have my setup there with laser cannons, as I explained before. Leave it as it is, stock, okay? So we start here our little mission. 30k, easy peasy, money in the bank, okay? What I do is I get close, try to check whatever I'm likely to have. Yeah, it's probably going to be a freelancer that I have to fight, so I'll go straight for that one. I definitely have the cannons for that, so it shouldn't be. But what I do is get as close as I can, even before this thing gets red, because there you go. You see what I mean? So because I'm so close, I can open up on it right away. Very close, doing a lot of damage before it even goes active. So that's all working in my favor. Load up that cannon as well, getting nice and close. Boom, boom, boom. See how that works? You see what I mean? Those laser cannons, they do a heck of a lot of damage very quickly on the slower moving ships. These ones are probably the ones that I have to protect, so I'll start moving towards the other ones. Now this one, what is that? Mustang Delta, Cuddy Black, okay. So decent little 30k moderate combat beacon. That Delta, that Mustang will be a little bit more challenging, especially because you see how it's popping up and down like that? This is not working all that great. This is a little bit laggy, and yeah, you see this kills my accuracy because it just pops. If this was working correctly, it would be a lot easier, but it's not, and we just make what we can. A little bit of advice: if you're moving forward, you sometimes have, man, this is gonna be very difficult. I could just go and use some of these missiles that I have. So I have a couple hard points there. Damn, this is hot. This is super laggy. Not landing one of those shots, but look how it pops. Constantly popping. Yeah, even when getting close, it just glitches out of my sights. Dude, that is brutal. Let's see if I have better luck with that with that Cuddy Black, is it? Yeah. So yeah, the Cuddy Black, I'm landing just a little bit more, but man, that Mustang is gonna be difficult. I'll probably go with some of those missiles because I don't want to bore you to death, especially when it's something laggy about the game itself. And yeah, it's not always like this. It is usually crap. You know, Star Citizen is usually crap, but we are suckers for punishment. So that's why we keep playing. If this had been working properly, I would have had this mission done already. But just showing you that with patience and dedication, you can get these things done, okay? Man, this is just terrible. But you see what I mean. You see what I mean here. Well, let me see if I can get that thing a little bit more accurate. Jesus Christ. Okay, finally a little bit less terrible laggy. Yeah, these cannons, especially at this closer range, they do a heck of a lot of damage, but they are slow, and being slow means it's more difficult to shoot, especially when it's like this. When the server is all over the place, you don't even want to, yeah, it is quite hard, but it can be done. We are doing it. We are blowing the crap out of this thing, even though I am getting shot quite a bit. Boom, there it goes, down. Just in time so as to not get blown to pieces. So I'll go into this one over there. I'll just use some of these. Yeah, let's try making this a little bit quick. Oh no, I'm shooting it. I confused. Yeah, let's go for that one. That's the one I was trying to shoot down. Oh, it shot one of the good guys? Okay. Oh, it used one of those things. Okay, you know what? Old school. Boom. All right. So some of those had landed. Guys, 15-minute video, but I showed you what you can do even when not even trying that hard with your beloved Avenger Titan. Now I'll just go do one of those bunkers. There you go, 30k. Guys, it is a great little ship and I cannot recommend it enough. My advice, buy it in game if you don't want to spend a couple more bucks, which I suggest you don't. Folks, gonna be all for now. Subscribe to the channel if you appreciate this kind of content. See you in our next video. Take care.